That's her choice. If she wants to take care of all them 50 million kids and help him pay all that $30,000 in child support, more power to her. That's her decision. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like these handmade fall earrings, as well as other cute handmade accessories made by yours truly. Check out that link down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, you guys. So on episode 11, we only have 1 week until the weddings. Okay, and everybody's falling apart. Every relationship is blowing up. I would be surprised if nobody made it down the aisle, because they're spontaneously combusting right before our eyes. And also, this is the episode they go wedding dress shopping, but I'm not really gonna mention too much about it because that part of it is so boring to me. I barely pay attention during that scene because it is what it is. They try on dresses. Nothing eventful happens during that time. All right, let's talk about Garrett and Taylor. They had the conversation, I guess off camera, about the text messages, and she did feel like he was being a bit too friendly in those text messages. I believe he said that he told the girl that he had a fiance and that he couldn't talk to her anymore. But without you saying that up front, and, you know, right when it happened, it just left too much to the imagination. It left her to wonder, and it kind of like messed with her mind and the trust that she had for him. But at this point, she doesn't believe that he was being deceptive on purpose. And honestly, I don't either. I really don't. He fumbled that situation, but I really don't think that he was trying to cheat on her or anything. They were able to have the conversation and be able to take the trip to San Diego to meet her family. The family didn't want to be filmed by the crew, but we did get a little camera phone footage of them, and they seem like they're accepting of the situation. And later on, we did get to see the mom on camera, and she said that she had to pull Taylor's dad off the edge because he was very concerned and upset about the situation. But she told him that you know, sometimes you have to let your kids go. They're grown. They're going to make their own decisions. And it doesn't always have to be the worst case scenario. I understand why the dad was upset. You know, this show does not have the best track record for weddings and for marriages. But like the mama said, she grown. She can make her own decisions. She's going to do it regardless of whether you approve or not. The mom just really wants to maintain that relationship with her daughter. And she was like, you know, you can't always explain love. Sometimes you want to explain things intellectually, but sometimes you just feel it and you just know when you're in love with someone. And then the mom said that Garrett is not her usual type. And I was like, what's her usual type? Now I want to know what her type was. Because the mom was like, yeah, he's nothing like what she dates. I'm like, I wonder who she normally dates. Next, we have Melissa and Ramses. So they're making cookies, and she wants to eat some of the batter that they're using to make the cookies. And he's like, you're going to get sick. I can't believe you're eating raw eggs. And it's like, y'all doing everything else raw. And you the main one talking about you don't want no kids. He's filling out the marriage license certificate and barely even knows that woman's birthday to even type it in. Child, and they still gonna be getting married. So they go try on dresses, and she invites her mom. And surprisingly, her mom was very sweet and subdued for the most part. She had a little bit to say about Ramses and his style, and you know, she doesn't like that he's not the most masculine man. But she really likes the fact that when Melissa needed something, Ramses dropped everything to go help her. And that kind of made her a little bit more comfortable with them getting married. That, along with the fact that she said she would cut his balls off if he ever hurt her daughter. She thinks her daughter is making the right decision. So at least she has her mom's support at this point. Marissa was trying on dresses, and the first dress she tried on, she didn't like it because she felt it was too cutesy. and kind of childish, made her look childish. And the mom was like, oh, that's the one I like. It reminds me of when you were a little girl in a tutu. Her friend was like, yeah, that's exactly why she doesn't want it. She wants something a little bit more sophisticated. And that's exactly what the second dress was. She's going to look so beautiful with her hair pulled back. Later on, we see another argument between them. She doesn't like the fact that she's doing everything she can to accommodate his mother, and that he didn't even bring flowers when he first met her mom, and still not being the most accommodating. He's not matching her energy when it comes to her family. The mom did start off on a bad foot with him, but she seems like she's warmed up to him and has a better attitude. So I'm not mad at Marissa for feeling some type of way about that. And she also says she wants him to help her out without having to be asked. Especially when it comes to wedding planning, she feels like she's doing it all alone and she wants him to be very involved in it. And he just isn't. And I feel like with that, sometimes you have to ask for help because men don't know what all comes with like wedding planning and, all that comes with it. They probably just think you have to buy a dress, get a venue, get the food, all that. But it's a lot of little intricate details that he probably doesn't know about. And then he does need to ask her, how can he help with the situation? Clearly she's stressed out. She keeps talking about how she wants help from you, and you could try to offer some sort of help in that instance. I don't know. He's just very selfish. Like, he's very selfish. He already turned me off that last episode where she couldn't even be on her period without him having an attitude because he couldn't touch her. Like, he ain't ready to be married to nobody. And I understand why his first marriage didn't work, because everything has to be about him, but under the guise that he is so, caring of her. And I don't know. I haven't seen too much of that. He knows how to wear that mask, but I don't believe it. I'm not convinced. And she's overlooking all the red flags when it comes to him. He's overlooking all the red flags until this last episode where he starts second guessing whether or not they should get married. And I don't even know if they're going to make it to the altar, child. It's only going to be 2 weddings next episode because there's only 1 wedding episode. So I'm guessing only 2 people make it to the altar. Apparently he had a conversation with somebody. They didn't say who, but he had a conversation with somebody and it made him second guess whether or not he wanted to get married. And that person wasn't wrong. Even if y'all do get married, it don't need to be with each other. Y'all not compatible at all. And it's very clear to everyone else. So finally, let's talk about Nick and Hannah. Ugh. Like, she really does exhaust me just watching her. This is after the party. She's asking Nick about the whole Katie conversation, and he is being a little evasive about it. I feel like he's kind of using this situation to get the upper hand on her, make her jealous, because he never has any sort of leverage in their relationship. But I feel like he sees now that she's a little jealous in this situation. He kind of using it to his advantage to be able to hold some over her head a little bit. So he was being a little evasive. But she starts going off about, it felt weird that you and my best friend and my fiance are giggling. He was just telling her it meant nothing to her. And she was like, well, you're the one who said you needed closure from her. And he said, I never said that. I had to go back and look because I know he said that he needed closure. And when I went back and looked, he definitely did say that. He did kind of give a little BS explanation over the little conversation they had. He told the little Cliff Notes version. And pretty much she was like, well, if it happened that way, the conversation would have been short. It wouldn't have been for 40 minutes. At some point, he makes a comment like, can we just have a mature conversation? And she responds with, well, I took you from a boy to a man. I know how to have a conversation. That's a wild thing to say to somebody you just met 2 months ago. If that, I don't even think it's been 2 months. How you take him from a boy to a man in a month? Because she says all of this, but you were being emotionally manipulated by someone you had never seen in person. Someone on the other side of the wall had you in tears and confused whether or not you wanted to be with him or not. Even though you walked through the door saying you were solid, you let him shake you. And then on top of that, I'm always going to bring up the fact you quit your job to come on this show. Like, you really cannot act like you are so much more mature than him. She starts talking about how she's a fun girl and how she hasn't been able to show her fun side because she's had to be the adult in the relationship. And it's like, the man tried to have fun with you on vacation and you wouldn't get on the dug. He was trying to have fun and you wouldn't even have fun then, even before y'all came to the real world. And then two, he's like, you're mad at me. I didn't do anything wrong. Sounds like you need to be checking your best friend. And I agree with him on that. Like, why are you taking all of that out on him? You're really mad at her and trying to pretend like it's him because you know you can beat up on him. You know you can't say what you want to say to her. He said, you clearly don't trust me. And she said, it's not that I don't trust you. I just don't know if I trust Katie. It's all about respect. I feel like I wasn't being respected. And I will admit that if your partner has a problem with you talking to somebody and, you know, y'all being flirtatious or whatever, you should take heed to that. But in this situation, I don't even care because the way she treats him, she deserves it. What she's really mad about is that another woman was treating him better than she does. And she doesn't feel like he deserves to be treated better. So they go back and forth for a while. She ignores him for a second. And then she tries to come in and say, I just want to go to sleep. Let's just end this. And it's like, just because you want to end it, I understand why he didn't want to let it go. It was like he was harping on it at the end right there. But it's like, how are we just going to end the conversation just because you want to end it? Next thing you know, we see Nick meet her friends. Before the friends get there, you know, he makes a joke about how, you know, she turned a boy into a man. That whole line. She thought that line was so epic, y'all. He tells her that he heard what she was saying and he was trying to, you know, not flirt. And, but he also feels like she wants him to change, like, who he is as a person and his personality. She turned around and said, well, this experiment has given you tests and you failed them. Like, dang, he done failed every test. So her friends got there and you know she's already talked crap on him to them. Because they came in clearly not wanting to give him a chance. You could see it. When they sat down, they barely got any chance to grill him because she took every opportunity to ask him all these questions. Are you ready for marriage? He was just like, I think I'm ready. And, you know, they're like, you think you're ready? And she said she knows that she wants to marry him, but she doesn't know if he's right for her. Then you're not completely certain either. Like, you say you know you want to marry him, but you keep talking about all these what ifs and talk about how hesitant you are. So you don't know if you want to marry him. She tells him about the duck situation. She got the ick that he wanted to ride the ducks in the first place. And when the other lady wanted to come join him on the ducks, you know, the lady was like, ooh, don't be jealous. And the friends obviously was turned off by this. She said this on purpose to get them to start snapping on him. She said she has these huge reservations about his maturity. And she feels she's only asking him to step up to the plate and change certain behaviors. And once again, he feels like she just wants to change who he is. And he doesn't feel comfortable with that. Personally, I don't think what she's asking of him is ridiculous. It's the way that she's asking him. I don't see anything wrong with her wanting to step up, handle the finances, or, you know, do things around the house without being asked, or, you know, just different. Like, I understand where she's coming from with that. It's just when you beat somebody over the head to do, it's like she's using that as an excuse to verbally abuse him. So she was supposed to go dress shopping with all the other ladies, but she starts having this conversation with her mom before they go. The mother is so excited. She's said that she wrote out a speech and she can't wait to see her try on the dresses. The mom is just like the way a mother should be before they see her daughter try on a dress. And she just sitting up here with a stank attitude, her legs crossed, she mad. I'm like, nobody is holding a gun to your head and telling you to marry this man. The mom doesn't understand it either. She immediately starts going in on him about how she doesn't think they match intellectually, creatively, financially, and how her friends did not like him. And the mom said, none of that matters if y'all love each other. I'm like, Mama, that ain't the best advice. If you don't think that you're on the same level intellectually, financially, creatively, friends don't like him, which the friends, that don't matter. But if you don't think that y'all are compatible, love is not gonna make the marriage work, especially if both of y'all are not willing to put in the work. And so I couldn't believe the mom actually was like, well, yeah, I can make it work. I'm like, no, Mom. So she didn't end up showing up to wedding dress shopping. And the next thing you know, we see them have a conversation and the list comes back up. The lack of respect. She felt he was delusional. He didn't have social awareness. He didn't have maturity and confidence versus ego, which I still would be upset about that little passive aggressive note she left out for him to read instead of actually saying this stuff to his face. But she says she still has all of those concerns that never went away. Once again, he feels like she's condescending and thinks that he's incapable of taking care of himself. And she asked him, what responsibilities do you have? Like, what bills do you pay? He said, I pay for car, gas, and insurance. Mind you, this whole time she has taken out a notebook. And she's sitting up here like she's an auditor or therapist, I don't know, but she's sitting up here like being very judgmental, writing things down, writing down notes, just pretty much trying to poke holes in everything that he's saying. Everything he has to say, she has a rebuttal, she has a response as to why he's wrong or why she doesn't respect him. She was like, when do I take off these rose-colored glasses and see this for what it is? When have you ever viewed this relationship with rose-colored glasses? You've never held this relationship on a pedestal. You never respected him. You never gave him any sort of pass or compassion in any way. Like, you have held his feet to the fire more than they have ever been in his life. Because you could tell his parents did coddle him. His parents spoil him to this day. What rose-colored glasses? He is being self-deprecating and says, well, I thought I was going to be a good enough man to get married to you, but I was wrong. And he's, getting emotional about it because he actually loved her and he actually wanted this to work. And she's just being so cold, breaking up with him. And she said she felt like he would say no at the altar. And this whole time she was saying, oh, he's worried about optics. He wanted to go wedding dress shopping. He wanted to go, try on his tux because he wanted to be on camera or look good in front of everybody. I don't know what she was trying to get across with that. But you are the one worried about optics. You were the one who didn't want to get up to that altar and he say no. You were the one. Everything she does is projecting in one way or another. Somebody in my comments said that she's jealous of Nick because his parents didn't kick him out at 18 and he wasn't left to fend for himself. And I kind of believe that. I believe that she has resentment towards what she had to deal with and how her parents treated her. Like, she has resentment towards them and is taking it out on him. She probably doesn't even realize it. Hopefully she watches herself back and sees that something got to change. That insecurity she felt from being big, she's taking out on him. How hypercritical she is on herself and, how she feels judged and how she looks and everything. I feel like she is turning the finger around on him. I don't think Nick was ready to get married either, but he didn't deserve that. And she really tore this man down every chance she got. This is actually a blessing in disguise for him, because if he would have got married to her, imagine if they would have had kids too. She probably would have had the kids talking to him crazy. Next, let's talk about Tyler and Ashley. Hey y'all, this is Pinky from the Future Editing, okay? I wanted to make sure I added in the fact that Tyler's baby mama has now spoken out We're not even going to talk about the whole Tyler and Ashley segment because this was way more pressing, and anything he has to say on the show is kind of old news because we already know the truth and it's out there. So let's talk about it. And we're also going to talk about Ashley has made a response to all of this that's come out, and you might be surprised. So the first things first, pretty much the story goes that his baby mama was married to another woman. They were a lesbian couple, and he was a friend of hers and agreed to be a sperm donor for them. He didn't want to assume a father role. I believe they signed paperwork for that and everything. He wasn't going to be involved any further than that. But she ended up breaking up with the wife, and this happened before the baby was born. And those two ended up going through a custody battle, and I guess it was very strenuous upon her, and that's when her and Tyler became even closer with one another. And that's when he decided to step up and play a father role to that child that was already there. I guess emotions were high and they were around each other a lot, and they ended up having their next babies, the twins, unplanned. So there was no agreement around that as far as him just donating sperm, because it happened the good old-fashioned way. And she said she was uncomfortable with saying that part of it because she had always lived her life as a lesbian. If you look at her, she looks like she's very masculine, okay? Tattoos and everything. So she didn't want everybody to know that is how those kids were conceived, but that she claims that is what happened. She said he was there throughout the entire pregnancy. He came to doctor's visits. He lived with her the entire time. He was there for the delivery, and he was there for the entirety of her stay in the hospital. And he even signed the birth certificate for the twins and cut the umbilical cords, okay? And they continued to live together for a year. While they were living together, they decided that they still wanted to date other people but co-parent with one another. Next thing you know, he decides that he wants to go on Love is Blind, and she supported that, and she wanted him to find someone else because she, you know, they weren't in a relationship, but she still thought that he would continue on with his fatherly duties. He completely shut his Facebook page down that had all the evidence of him being their father, all the pictures and everything. And that's when she knew that he was going to try to pull this stunt of pretending like those were not his kids. And you know, he pretty much has not played a role in them kids' life ever since. She says they haven't seen him ever since. Obviously, she hurts for her children, because how dare you involve yourself in these kids' life, create children, and not want to take care of them or continue to play the role you were playing before. So I understand the pain and hurt and why she felt the need to expose him. It might be questionable whether or not he's responsible for that first child, but apparently there's no question at all with the twins, okay? And now she didn't really specify the specifics of, you know, child support, how much he owes, but she kind of alluded to that. Allegedly, he owes around $30K in child support, child. I don't know for sure. And also, there's a story going around that he was engaged to another woman and hid this from her as well. So this is not his first time being deceitful in a relationship. So like I said, every time we turn around, this story just keeps getting worse and worse, and Tyler just keeps digging a bigger and bigger hole for himself. At some point, you would think that he would take responsibility, be accountable, be honest, you know, but he always finds a way to make an excuse or try to weasel his way out of it. And it's like, sir, you're a deadbeat. Like, there's no way around it. That's unfortunate that those kids are going to have to watch you deny them one day, because it is on national television. It's one thing for your dad to disappear, go to the store and get some milk and never come back. It's another thing to know who your dad is, for him to leave, and then on TV claim that you were a sperm baby. Like, that's awful. I can't believe he did that. But like I said, someone addressed Ashley in her comments, and a lot of people were wondering, you know, did she actually marry him? You know, are they still together? How does she feel about this? You know, they were just looking for a response from Ashley. Shout out to Reality Rob on TikTok. This is where I got the screenshot from, and this is allegedly from Ashley's comments. Somebody commented on her page, "Girl, with all this stuff coming out about him with proof, I hope you don't disappoint me because that man is foul. A whole daddy, a broke one at that, because he owes multiple women money." This is her response. "Do you know him personally to spread such slander about my castmate? Regardless of the choice I make, I'll do whatever is best for me, the same way I assume you live your life. Food for thought before I go. Beware of social media and the alleged unauthenticated proof you speak of. I pray you'll attempt to lead with kindness moving forward." Girl, you still with this man? After all that, you still with this man? Because that's what I got from that. Okay? Not only did she marry him, she's still with him to this day, and it's going to stick beside him. And that's unfortunate. I really hope that's not the case. But as defensive as she got, and saying there's no proof, like there's not a whole baby mama out here exposing him with pictures. Proof that he didn't spend Christmas alone like he said. He was with the kids. And you still are defending him. Yes, she called him castmate, but I ain't falling for that. So, I don't know, y'all. That's disappointing. You would hope that after someone has been exposed in this way and you kind of see them for who they really are, that people would actually take heed. She did tell him, like, you know, nobody could tell me anything about you. She even said her mama couldn't tell her anything about him. So, I mean, I guess if your mama can't, then the people in the comments for sure can't. That's her choice. If she wants to take care of all them 50 million kids and help him pay all that $30,000 in child support, more power to her. That's her decision. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'd love to hear your opinion. And I will see you in my next one. Peace.